Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome
You're
to
listening
another
to
edition.
WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
And that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely, and welcome to another episode of Boy and Girl Thing. I'm Kit Smith, and I'm the author of the book, Let's Meet Our Match, Your Complete Guide to Success in the World of Internet Dating. And on my left, as always,
I'm Cece Schatz.
and she is
I am the
doyenne
of divorce, dating, and relationship building. And you know, the other thing I was thinking the other day, Kit, I am the connector. Because I think that all the things that I do, and I probably do this probably the best, is connect wonderful people to other wonderful people.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
That's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so tonight we're going to have a great guest we're going to be bringing on.
Well,
but do we have any exciting news at all?
Well, we have two treats.
Treats.
Two treats.
We have two treats.
Yeah.
What treats are those?
Well, number one.
Doggy treats?
Number one, we have this wonderful guest.
Yes.
Who we've been looking forward to having on our show for quite some time.
Yes.
And let me introduce her right up front.
Okay.
It's Kerri Kannan, and she's developed a program that she calls Consciousness Alignment. Now, this I'm real interested in finding out what this is all about.
Yes, because I'd like to know a little bit about your consciousness.
I don't spend a lot in that state.
Is it like all curvy?
Yeah, pretty much. And then treat number two.
Yes.
I'm going to be here for the whole hour.
Yes, he's going to be on Going Solo with Cece, and we're going to carry right on with Kerri.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on into Going Solo with Cece. So let's kick off the show like we always do. Cheers to everyone. Let's have fun.
And cheers to our guest.
Absolutely. So let's bring her on board. Let's connect with her like we always do. So hold on just one moment. We're going to bring her right up. So, you know, you guys can join our lobby too if you'd like. We'd love to have you. Hey, Kerri.
Hey.
It's nice having you.
And welcome to our show. And this is going to be great because I have been curious for quite some time, ever since I first saw Consciousness Alignment. I'm like, wow, what is that? And what is that all about? So enlighten us.
Well, I'm going to give you the short story because otherwise it can take me an hour. I basically discovered after 20 years of studying consciousness that we all, and I told Cece this, we all have this inherent gift where we can actually use our words to bring forth the things that we want in our lives. And there's a little story behind it. And if people want the whole story, they can go to my website. That's divinewithin.com. And there's free stuff on there, but they can hear the whole story in another interview. But we don't have enough time for the whole story. But what I do is I release people from limiting thoughts that are in the way of them having their best life. And I just do that using my words in a form of affirmative prayer. And then I ask that consciousness imprint them with something that is more in harmony with their desires. And people have told me, you know, from all different walks of life, all different things that I've asked for, that things just start happening in their lives in ways that they never expected. And it's really interesting because it's not like you're hit with a cosmic 2x4 and things just start happening, but the doors and windows in one's experience that seem to have always sort of been closed, like they were kind of sitting there but always seemed closed, all of a sudden open for people, and their experience, they notice that their experience shifts and is different. So that's what we'll be doing here.
Is it more of a focus on creating a positive attitude as much as anything else?
Well, the listener doesn't have to do anything except say yes as I'm speaking. So it's not really creating a positive attitude. What it is I'm literally asking consciousness to release people from the limiting things that are in the way of their experiencing their best life. In this show, it'll be really on their best relationship. and releasing the things that they're holding in the way. So if it's body image stuff, or if it's unworthiness, or if they were in an abusive relationship, whatever that is, I'm going to ask that that be released from the person who hears me. And anyone who hears me now live or in the future on a recording, this will be equally effective. So one does not have to listen live, and it works. It works. So I don't know how. I just know that it works.
That's wonderful. And what are the steps that you take to, pardon the term, analyze or decide a direction that you need to go for someone? Or is it just a blanket process and everybody fits in?
Well, if I were working with somebody privately, they would kind of give me their story.
Okay.
And in our story is also our limitations. So somebody would tell me their story, and within that I would hear certain key phrases or words that would allow me to know what the person was struggling with. And from that, I would use specific phrases for that person. However, what we're going to do tonight is we are going to use some more paint broader brushstrokes so that people can let go of the broader things that are in there. And really the best way to describe it is to just do it. What I do is I just ask that consciousness remove them. And what I'll do is I'll ask for somebody to come to think of a challenge in their lives, and people think of it like that, and or something that they feel might be stopping them from having their ideal relationship, and I will ask consciousness to release that. Now every single person is unique, so I will also ask consciousness to remove something, whatever that unique thing is for the listener. So the person who's hearing, like you're both hearing my voice right now, and the person who's hearing has different things that they want to work through, or that are part of their experience. And the way that I go about doing it is that I allow for the consciousness that lives in, through, and as me and you, which has infinite intelligence, to release that on your behalf, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that, because Kit and I, our focus here on Boy and Girl Thing is dating. And mine, of course, is really about being single, being okay with being single, moving through a relationship loss of some sort, and then rebuilding, starting to rebuild yourself and rebuild your relationships and moving forward to living your best life. And so with all of that, it's like within. And sometimes it's that fear of moving forward, that fear of dating, going on a dating site, or the fear of maybe really connecting with someone, and all those various different steps that it takes to be able to be okay with yourself. And right. So what would you say about the baggage? And we've had a few shows about this, because sometimes isn't it what's in your past that's kind of held you back a little bit? You're not really being released from that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just had an experience where, so I'm, I've always, my whole life, I've had body image issues. And now that I'm in, entering my late 40s, or that I'm in my late 40s, I actually, for the first time, this has probably been going on for like the last year and a half or 2 years, I'm finally embracing my body. And I'm looking at myself more objectively, and I'm like, damn girl, for 47 years old, you look really good, and previously I would, look at, the extra weight that I might have or whatever, which, that's just that's how I am. That's how I'm built. I have some extra weight, and, but I'm no longer allowing that to interfere with, myself. And it's funny how life will throw you little experiences. So, I recently met a gentleman I would consider him a petite man. And he thought that I was like the sexiest person on the planet. And my stuff got in the way, because, I was just like, well, my body image stuff was kind of thrown in my face, because I prefer men who are taller than me and who I perceive as bigger than me. And it was just really interesting to see my own, baggage, my own stuff.
Oh dear. Let's see here. I think we're frozen. This happened before. These live shows are very fascinating, and sometimes they happen like that. So hopefully, Kerri, that you will pop off and maybe come back on again. I think that's what she's going to do. Let's see what happens here. Going to bring her back up into the broadcast. So
sorry about that.
That's okay.
There we go.
I didn't realize that it was going to flake out on me. So
yeah, it'll do that sometimes, which is really strange, but it does.
Means I touch it every once in a while, I think. So I realized from that experience that it really had nothing to do with him. It was all my stuff. So I'm personally working on that. It's a little bit more challenging for me to work on my own stuff because all my stuff is in my face. But when it comes to doing a consciousness alignment on behalf of somebody else, it's just easier because I'm not attached to everybody else's storyline. But what that showed me, and I quickly was able to identify it, was that it really had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with me and my self-perceptions. And so that's the kind of work that I do on behalf of other people, is I help them release those self-perceptions that get in the way of happiness.
It's so funny that you said this, is because today a friend of mine, we had gone out to a party and we had taken a picture. We were standing together. We'd taken a picture together, and he sent it to me. And I saw it and I thought, oh my gosh, I look so heavy and I don't look good in my hair. And I'm thinking all these negative things. And I came back to him and I said, oh my gosh, that's the worst picture of me. And then he calls me and he says, you're beautiful in that picture. I think that's the best picture I've ever seen of you. And I'm thinking like,
right.
Rankin, I mean,
yeah.
But tonight,
ask him to get me some of that.
I know, really. So tonight, when you're mentioning it about yourself, I'm thinking to myself, exactly. I looked at that picture and all I could see was all this negativeness. All of this. Of course, I don't look like when I was in my 20s, but maybe for my, where I am now or whatever. But he saw something totally different. And so, it is true. It is our minds. Sometimes our minds hold us back. It's that little voice in our head. Yeah. So, what do we do about that? How do we?
I have a hard time relating to that because I don't have.
Because you're just gorgeous.
Right. I don't have it. I don't have any image or appearance issues.
You've got something.
Yeah.
Everybody's
a guy.
All right, I got a scar on my chin.
He's got a little boo-boo on his arm. He comes in every week and he says, look at my arm. I've got a little boo-boo there. So what is your hang-up though? We all have them.
It's for me.
Yeah.
It's when it comes to relationships, and I'm someone that wants to jump in with both feet right up to my neck.
Yeah.
Okay. I have this feeling or sensation, Kerri, of burned out.
Oh.
I have two on my resume, if you will, my biography. I have 2 failed marriages, and it's been a long time since I've been divorced, and I've spent a great deal of time on internet dating sites. And let me preface what I'm about to say by saying that I wouldn't change that experience for anything except for being in a wonderful and happy long-term relationship. Mm-hmm. Okay. But because I have met wonderful, wonderful ladies, many of them encouraged me to write the book I wrote. Mm-hmm. So on that part of it, it's been a positive.
Right.
But as far as like meeting that one person that I think is going to change.
So do you think you're not going to meet that person?
I don't know.
So is that what you think in your subconscious, like you were mentioning, do you think that that's probably not going to happen?
I'm sure there's times. Yeah. I'm sure there's times.
We all have that stuff.
I don't dwell on that. because I believe when I wake up tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow is going to be a better day
Yeah.
than it was today.
It's gonna be a
Okay,
new
so
day.
I'm not all about negative, not by any means. All right, it's just sometimes I wonder. I had a female friend several years ago, for example. I explained to her essentially what we're talking about now, and she said, "You've lost the passion." Okay, she said that's what's missing in your life. You've lost the passion.
Well, you've forgotten what that
Or
passion,
maybe,
what that passion feels like. So for him feeling that way, because I'm totally opposite. I mean, I know that I'm going to have this fantastic guy that's going to come into my life. I absolutely know it. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the right.
I still
for
believe.
when it's right for me.
Don't misunderstand me. I still believe, and I still pay attention to my profiles and information and whatnot on the dating.
Well, you just said the
but
opposite.
I'm feeling burned out.
Well, then maybe you need to step back from it a little bit.
I don't know.
And look at something differently coming from what do you say, Kerri? We're asking you.
I can see both sides. So I can see the burnout because, I go in waves. Like I'll talk to people online and, I'll meet some really great people. And, but it's just, I'm looking for something very specific. I have very specific search criteria, and and I know what I want. And honestly, I'm happy alone. I'm perfectly content with my own company. I would like that special person to enhance my life, not somebody who I need to rely on, who's relying on me, or that dependency thing. Because been there, done that. Thank you very much. I just want an equal partner to join me in the rest of
Right. I can agree with that. Yeah.
I can see the burnout, and I can also see what Cece's talking about as far as the knowing that person is there, because I'm in that boat. I know that person is there for me, but it can get frustrating, and it can get demoralizing when you talk to people and you have a certain depth and you have kind of what you're looking for. And to me, none of it really has very much to do with physicality. Really, it has to do with intellectual, spiritual, emotional depth. And then, if you're intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally stable, then you tend to look okay, or at least there's a chemistry or a magnetism, and all your teeth are not falling out, and you don't weigh 400 pounds. So it's I can see that what you're talking about, because it's hard online, as opposed to in life. You get everybody's in the pond. Everybody's thrown in the pond. People who you would not normally connect with, and then you're basically going on a picture, which is a 2D superficial representation of everybody. And when I'm online dating, I have a very detailed profile, and I say right up front, I'm like, I have a very detailed profile. It's very in depth, and if it's too much for you to read, or if you don't get it, we're probably not a good match. And then I kind of started off like that. But I find that when you write a nice in-depth profile, it really weeds out the riffraff. And if they don't read the profile, or if they don't have anything to say to me that can capture my attention, I'm very good about being like, okay, next. And I think that helps me to not get burnt out, because if I trust my intuition, and I allow myself to, like when I start talking to them, if I don't feel any connection, I'm good about saying, I really don't think that we have a good energetic match here. And I think that's what you're probably talking about, because we don't become disillusioned or burnt out if we're kind of having fun with the process. And I think you just kind of need to enjoy the process of, okay, the more people I weed through, the closer I'm getting to the one.
Yeah.
And that's a very positive, upbeat way to look at it. Without without you knowing me on a more personal level. I mean, after all, this is our first introduction to one another, and I'm truly enjoying getting to know you. Let me say that right up front. I think in my personal case, a lot of the burnout idea that I have comes from I can go to sleep at night. I can look at myself in the mirror in the morning, and I know that I gave my marriages everything I had to make it the best for her and for me. Giving just seemed like that's the normal. That's what you're supposed to do. And I gave and I gave and I gave, and here I am. Okay.
Let me question. Is there a way, so what did you learn anything from those marriages about yourself, about relationship, about anything that you wouldn't trade?
I'm sorry?
So in those marriages, am I disappearing?
No.
In those marriages, did you learn anything about yourself, about relationships, or about, the marriage institution in general that you feel you would not be the same person today had you not gone through that?
No, I firmly trust that I did everything I could do to make the marriages work, and I wouldn't change from that.
So,
I'm prepared to go into my next relationship, and I'm assuming there's going to be one at some point, doing exactly what I did before. That's the only way it's going to work, is that I got to give it my all. I don't.
Yeah, but can I just say something here? I think, Kerri, what I'm hearing, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, I don't know, but what I'm hearing is that his conscious mind is still in the past, because he's still trying to reassure himself that he did everything that he could to make it okay and make everything right. So he can't really step forward into the future, where I have a knowing. I truly, I don't care how long it's going to take, because I know it's going to happen.
Right.
So I'm not really bugged about it. But every day he's on the sites, he's searching, he's looking, and he's getting frustrated because he still has that, conscious mind in the background, still in the past. He hasn't actually, and forgive me, I love you, but he hasn't actually released that.
And
am I wrong? Or,
yeah, we'll do that in a consciousness alignment, because I think a lot of people, there's this desire, and as long as you feel like you need something or you want something, basically what you're doing is you're telling the universe, I don't have it. And what led me to that question was, I wanted to know if we could look at those marriages as a success, because you learned something about yourself, you learned something about marriage, you learned, you would not be the person you are today without those marriages. So maybe you learned what you needed to learn, and it was a success, and it was time to move on.
Okay. I mean, that makes as much sense as anything else I've ever heard. Yeah. So I can't disagree with you.
And with saying that, you can take that and what you're experiencing into really anything that's holding you back. So for me, I have something totally different. I have sometimes a fear that I'm not going to accomplish something. And so I have this yearning and wanting to have something done, resolved, or, maybe business related, my path. I know for certain where my path is going, but I feel like I'm constantly stumbling to try to move forward. But it's actually my own fear of my own self-confidence, that's not allowing me to break through. So we all have things that hold us back, or unconsciously or unconsciously. Our subconscious preventing us from being able to move forward. So I think some of the exercises that you're going to be doing tonight with us will release whatever, like you said, whatever that particular situation is for that person. And we all know deep down what that is. So we have to ask ourselves what, we kind of know what that fear is or what that roadblock is. So we can relate to what you're saying with regards to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would you like
to take us through some sort of process tonight, or is that asking too much?
I can do that right now. It's not people just need to listen, really. All you need to do is listen and say yes. So
Okay.
what I'm doing is I'm asking for consciousness to release you from, the fears, the perceptions of failure, the neediness and the wanting and all of that. And I'm going to ask that it be replaced with something that is more in harmony with your ideal relationship. So I might look weird because I like to close my eyes when I do this, but I will try and keep my eyes open, but it's a little easier for me to concentrate.
Should we close our eyes?
You do whatever you want. You just listen to the words that I say. Just make sure you're listening. And as you're listening, say yes. Okay?
Okay. So everyone out there, listeners out there, take a moment and think about what it is that's holding you back, what you think it might be, in your own subconscious. And then let's listen to what Kerri has to say for us. And maybe you'll be touched and things will change for you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, divine consciousness that lives in, through, and as me and all things, all people, all life experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you for releasing this person who is hearing my voice now from the ideas, the stories, the attachments, going down their mother's side of the family and their father's side of the family, going back 10,000 generations, that tell them that they cannot have the ideal relationship, a relationship that is in perfect harmony with that which they desire. Thank you for releasing them from any ideas, any thoughts, any fears, any paralysis, anything that they have learned, anything that they have been told. Thank you for releasing them from that now. Thank you for releasing them from that now, across all time, space, dimension, and reality now. And thank you for rewiring them, rewiring their neural pathways and neuroreceptors, every vibrating molecule, every spinning atom, every strand of DNA. Thank you for rewiring them to let go and be at peace with who they are and where they are now, so that they no longer hold this energy in their system now. And thank you for imprinting this person with a new consciousness that allows them to be at peace with themselves and to love themselves unconditionally and deeply across all time, space, dimension, and reality now, and allows them to be at ease and to allow the abundance and the love of the universe to flood through them and to vibrate every cell of their body, every molecule, every atom, to infuse them with love and light so that they radiate out that love and light, and so that everyone sees how vibrant and loving and happy and joyful, and so that the exact right person who is in harmony with their ideal relationship aligns with them and magnetizes to them now. Anything in the way of that, delete, uncreate, and transmute across all time, space, dimension, and reality now, going back 10,000 generations down their mother's side of the family and their father's side of the family. Thank you for opening the doors and windows of their consciousness now to allow this new relationship, this new love, this new joy, this new fulfillment to enter their lives now and forevermore, as long as this person lives on this planet Earth. Thank you, it is already done. Thank you, it is already done now. Thank you, it is already done now. This perfect, harmonious relationship has already happened. It has already happened. The idea that this person even has this idea in their mind means that it has already happened on some level of reality. Thank you, it is already done. Thank you, it is already done now. Thank you, it is already done now. And so it is. Okay, take a deep breath and let it all out. And take one more deep breath and push it all out. Okay, that was a quickie. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So am I going to be like your best man?
Well, you're going to have to change a couple of features here.
No, like when you get hitched, am I going to be that one that's going to be next to you?
Yeah, why not? Sure. We're going to go down to the beach. It's going to be casual.
And we get our toes in the sand.
I'm going to wear my Jimmy Buffett shirt.
Okay.
Okay, and that's how we're going to do it.
All right. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Well,
are you ready?
I don't have somebody to marry yet.
No, the question.
Yeah, you do. You do. They're waiting.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're ready.
Yes.
The fact that you even have an idea that you want somebody in your life means that the universe is trying to bring that person into your life. The stuff that's in the way is, like we said before, it's our own stuff. So you would not have a thought of something that you desire if it was not already theirs. So the neediness, the lack, the fear, all of the things that are in the way are just keeping you, which is why I ask that you be at peace with yourself in the consciousness alignments, because if you can be at ease and in a state of tranquility and serenity and knowing that it has already happened, then it can easily come in. If you'd like, I can do another one on the knowing, if you'd like me to do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. Why don't we take just a quick break, because we have to bring you in Going Solo with Cece. So we're going to do that. We can do that on the second part of the show. That would be great. So it would be wonderful to do that. So I'm just going to pop you down for just a minute and
stay with us.
So stay with us. Okay. Wow, that was an awesome boy and girl show.
Yeah,
Right?
certainly different than what we normally do.
I know it. I loved it. I thought it was really great. I really enjoyed it.
She's certainly unique. There's no question about it. I can't wait till we get to the second part of this.
I know. Well, you guys were listening to the Boy and Girl Thing show. I'm Cece Schatz.
I'm Kit Smith.
Okay, why don't you run out and get yourself a glass of wine, or like me, a glass of water, and we're going to start up the show with Going Solo with Cece.
All right, here we go.
Okay, here we go. So, all right, I am Cece Schatz, and you are listening to Going Solo with Cece show on WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. This show really kind of embraces you as being a single. It helps you be able to move forward in your life, create that life that you want to live. And so that's what it's all about. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about business, and we talk about divorce recovery, transition into dating itself. We talk about products and services and authors. We have great authors that come on Going Solo with Cece.
What it's like to be a baby boomer.
I know. Just what it's like to be a girl, a guy, I mean, just anything. So we cover the gamut here on Going Solo with Cece. But tonight, we have with us a fantastic guest. And you want to introduce her?
Her name is Kerri Kannan, and she's someone that's been, we've had on our radar for quite some time, and we were finally able to get her on tonight. She uses an unconventional approach to help people release blocks to personal success and fulfillment, so they may live the lives of their dreams. She has authored Uncovering the Divine Within, a Journey of Self-Love, as well as Uncovering the Divine Within Workbook. Also, she is a co-author of a #1 international bestseller, Embraced by the Divine, The Emerging Woman's Gateway to Power, Passion, and Purpose. For over 2 decades, she has been helping people identify and release negative and limiting thinking, so they may become more liberated from the limits and doubts of the mind. She focuses on helping people release core negative patterns, the release of which allows them to identify their life purpose. So, Kerri, welcome back. Thank you for coming on with us, and we're learning a lot in just a really short period of time. And I love to learn anything I can learn. Yeah, I just I'm thrilled to death that you decided to come on with us, and we're happy to have you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, that's great. You know, the first part of the show on Boy and Girl Thing, we talked about our conscious mind and how it holds us back. And you took us through an exercise. And so we thought this part of the show, we would talk about the knowing, because as I was mentioning, is that, you know, as I move forward in my life, I have this uncanny feeling that I know good things are going to happen. I know where my future is going to be. Sometimes I think I don't get out of my own way, you know. Mm-hmm. And I had a psychic tell me that one time, and she said, you know, you should have been further along in everything that you're doing. Everything you're doing is going to come, but you just can't get out of your own way. So what would you say about that?
Well, the desire or the need that you have something. So if you feel that you need something, or if you are looking around and you're like, well, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, you're telling the universe that you're lacking in that thing. And if we can just be at ease and relax and know, like you said, know that whatever we desire is already ours, because we would not have that thought of something that we want, unless the universe already had a plan for you to have it. So in my work, I help people to get into that place of serenity and being at ease. I didn't talk about this in the first part, but I actually had an experience where I was struggling financially, and I listened to somebody who did something like what I do now. And all of a sudden I was like, it was a financial thing. And all of a sudden I lost 95% of my income after I had listened to the alignment. And then within 2 weeks, I was making 20 grand a month. By just meditating and asking, is there anything I can do today that will allow me to bring financial abundance in my life? And I just kept getting, just wait. And then it just landed in my lap. So
what about, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. What about prioritizing? And like in Cece's case, she's got a lot of things swimming around right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Does she? Would you recommend that someone like her prioritize?
No.
Or just treat everything the same and just
treat
muddle through it?
Yeah, I would say just treat everything as if it's already yours, and the universe already has a plan for you to receive it, and just be open to how it flows, how it comes into your life. We make plans in the universe, the universe happens. You know what I mean? So we make plans and then other things happen. So as far as prioritizing our goals, I don't know if that really is really any more valid than just setting an intention of, this is what I intend for my lover to be, or this is what I intend for my career to be, or, whatever. But I've noticed that the universe really, really likes specificity. And so I've been doing this for a while, and some of the things that I've manifested for myself, like, I'm very, very, very specific, and it's like, holy mackerel, one would never know that the universe can, get so specific with what you're asking for. But the key is, you are the universe. Universal intelligence lives through you. So you don't think of anything that's outside of the realm of possibility, because it lives through you. So consider yourself a vessel for God or consciousness to live through. And once you have that idea of something that you want, it's already yours. So to be able to relax and know, like we were talking about, that it is already yours is really the key to allowing it to come in. And I feel like Cece's kind of got a little bit of that going on. And it's interesting, this interview, because we sort of have the two ends of the spectrum. One of you is like saying, okay, I know this is going to happen. And then the other one is kind of like, well, I'm afraid that, this might not happen. And what my job, I perceive, is to help you get in touch and in alignment with just being at ease with yourself and relaxing and knowing that, yes, you did the best damn job that you could as yourself in those relationships. And you gave a gift to the people who you were in relationship with, as well as yourself. And now you're sharing that gift with the world. And you're allowing for different people to have different thoughts that come out and then contribute to that. So you're still gifting the world with those things that you learned within your marriages. And it's just, we need to stop beating ourselves up over it, because it's consciousness working through you, and you were given those things because you allowed for them to work through you. And as allowing consciousness to work through you, then you see the gift of the manifestation that your life is now, which you already said you would never trade it for anything.
Yeah.
Security there.
Yeah. I was thinking while you were saying that, is that where I am today, I had no idea after my divorce that I was going to be here, that I was going to be doing this, I didn't even think about it. All I thought about was trying to just take away the pain, trying to live through the moment, and just, I just thought my life was over. And so I thought, I cannot, for my children, I've got to get it together. I've got to be able to move forward. No idea that I was going to be making this like my life's passion and loving every minute of it. And I love what I do. I just love it. I love embracing people. I love seeing the change from them being so heartbroken and so distraught to being strong individuals that know what they want and moving forward and helping people along the way, creating a path for themselves. And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to watch. I feel privileged to be able to share in that. And I think now breaking into the dating realm and going into helping people date, finding, partners. But the biggest thing for me is making them feel, knowing that they're okay with who they are and who they're becoming, and that they're still growing. I mean, and so,
Yeah.
so if we take it back, we step back from your past, looking at your relationship,
Mhm.
who would have known that you would be on internet TV
Right.
and you would be the star that you are today?
I probably the thing that is most amazing about the period of time that has transpired from then getting my divorce until now, which is several years, Kerri,
Mm-hmm.
several years, okay, was the idea of writing a book. Kerri, for 45 years, I was a blue-collar worker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have any ego issues. I don't have any self-image issues. I know that I'm more than reasonably intelligent. But the idea of writing a book, and yet people that I came across in my life in a very short period of time, oh yeah, you can do it. You can do it. We know you can do it.
But see, it's amazing that people that come into our lives, they come into our lives for a reason.
No question.
And they're there to encourage us to be able to move forward. And it's amazing when that happens, that people do. I mean, it's just, tell me about the book that you wrote. I mean, because you've written a couple books here. What got you into doing that?
So, kind of the same thing, actually. So it was downloaded. Honestly, it was downloaded. I was meditating, and all right, I'm just going to try and give you the short story on that. So when I first got married, my ex-husband suggested that I do what I really want to do because he was making like 6 times what I was making. And so I was like, that's great. If I can do what I want to do, I'm going to figure out my life purpose. So I did some exploration on what my life purpose was. And at the time, this is 1998. So the internet was not as big as it is now. And, I found this article written by a guy named John Snodgrass that was entitled Your Special Function According to A Course in Miracles. And I was a student of A Course in Miracles. And basically what it said in this article was your special function, otherwise known as your life purpose, is the exact opposite of whatever you perceive to be the reality of your own guilt, sin, or victimization. In other words, what's missing is your gift, your weakness is your strength, and your special dysfunction is your special function. So to sum it up, it's kind of like, okay, been there, done that. Now let me help other people, resolve this issue as well. And I realized that I did not love myself. So I asked myself, I'm like, okay, well, what's my special dysfunction? I was like, well, I'm fat because, I've always had body image issues. And then I was like, no, I don't like myself. And I was like, no, that's not it either. And then I was like, no, I don't love myself. And when I had that thought, I started jumping around in the living room, thanking everyone who ever hurt me. And then I was like, okay, how do I share this with other people? Because it was a huge epiphany. And then it was downloaded. I got a download. And so I wrote down step by step what, like, the process that took like this. I was then given the steps of here's how someone can do it. And actually that's what's for free on my website, Uncovering the Divine Within. If you go into the tools, consciousness tools, and then you can get one of those. But that's what my first book is based on, is learning how to love yourself. And it goes across all things. So I've had people tell me, Kerri, I gave your workbook to my neighbor whose husband was having alcohol issues, and he checked himself into rehab after doing it. And other people who have had body image issues, or whatever those issues are, it helps because it's a book of self-inquiry, really, and it helps you to see things from a different perspective. So there's one story that I use in there of my parents' cats, and they had 4 cats. One was one was a fat cat, and the other ones were not. And everybody loved to pet the fat cat. So did that mean that the fat cat was, inferior because he was a fatter cat? No. I mean, in fact, he got more love, so it had nothing to do with his lovability. So that's what the workbook kind of does, is it helps you to step back and see what you perceive as your dysfunction, or the thing that separates you from everything, as this is just who you are, and it's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's just who you are. So it allows you to release that judgment. So that's the Uncovering the Divine Within workbook, which is free.
So tell us again how we can get that.
Go to divinewithin.com, and then there's a link for consciousness tools, and you'll see freebies. And then on the bottom of that page, you just click on the picture of the Uncovering the Divine Within workbook. You put in your little email, and it automatically it loads that for you. So
that sounds great. Well, gosh, the time goes by pretty quickly. And,
certainly does.
I know. Is there any last words you'd like to leave our listeners?
Do you want to do that consciousness alignment on knowing, or do we not have enough time?
We've probably got about 10 minutes. Was that enough time?
Yeah, I can do it in probably like 3 minutes. So,
yeah, let's do that.
I'll do it really quickly.
Okay.
And as people are listening, if they didn't hear the first part of the show, as I'm speaking, just say yes and listen to my words. Don't be doing the dishes or anything. Be present and listen and say yes as I'm speaking.
Okay.
Thank you, divine consciousness that lives in, through, and as the person who is listening to my voice now. Thank you for releasing them from any fear, any stories, anything that's in the way of them experiencing true love of themselves, so that they may share that with another. And thank you for them radiating that out to others, and knowing that that ideal relationship that they have been yearning for and they've been wanting is already theirs. So any anxiety that they have, any fear that they have that this may not be present in their lives, or that it may not come, thank you for releasing them from those thoughts now, across all time, space, dimension, and reality. Every single thought, every story, everything that they've been taught that tells them that they cannot have this, thank you for releasing that from them now, because they would not have this thought of this ideal relationship unless it was already theirs. So thank you for imprinting this person with a sense of being at peace and at ease with themselves, and a knowing that since they have the thought that they want that thing, that it is already theirs, and allowing them to release any neediness, any feelings that it's not there, anything in the way of that. And thank you for opening the doors and windows of their consciousness now, across all time, space, dimension, and reality, so that it may appear in their lives now. Thank you for going down their mother's side of the family and their father's side of the family, and releasing anything in the way of that now. Thank you for rewiring their neural pathways and neural receptors, so that they know in every fiber of their being, every vibrating molecule, every spinning atom, every strand of DNA. Thank you for rewiring their neural pathways and neural receptors, so that they have this deep, serene knowing that the life that they desire, the relationship they desire, the harmonious, joy-filled relationship with their soulmate, the love of their life, is already theirs. It's already theirs now, and it is appearing in their life now. It is waiting to break down their walls and barriers. It is waiting to rush into their life now. Thank you for imbuing this person with this knowingness now and forevermore, now and forevermore. Everything in their life that they are yearning for, that they're desiring, that they're feeling, that they want and need. Thank you for imprinting them with the knowledge that it is already theirs now. It is already theirs now. Thank you. It is already done. That is something even better. Thank you. It is already done. It is already done now. And so it is. Okay. Take a deep breath. Push it all out. Take another deep breath. And push it out. Okay.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for
that's
that.
awesome.
Yes.
That is just awesome.
Oh, very excited about it. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, and I hope that you'll come and join us with some other projects that we're working on and doing some more things.
I would love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That would be great.
And you're a cutie, by the way. Take it from a guy. Take it from a gun, okay?
Oh, that's great. All right, well, we're going to have to go. Well, this is Cece with Going Solo, and I have with me Kit Smith here. And
so you weren't really going solo.
I'm not really going to. Are we ever really? I think that we've got the universe out there, and so we're never really truly alone. Yeah, absolutely. So I have Kit Smith here with me, Christopher Smith. He is the radio host of the Boy and Girl thing, and so he stayed with me right on here. So we did a 2-part show here with Kerri, Kannan, and I want to thank you so much for being with us. You are the self-love mentor and the conscious mind or conscious coach.
Cheers to you, Kerri.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. Oh, she's got one too. Okay, well, thank you. Well, bye for now, and we'll see you, next time. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.